Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. It's time for our On the Farm sketch with me. And the sketch I picked this time is from one of our previous virtual crops. It's December 2021, sketch number 5, and you will find it linked below in the description box below this video. Now, I hope that many of you already purchased the On the Farm collection because this one sold like gangbusters. A lot of times our products do sell quickly, but this one is pretty much almost already sold out completely. So I'm hoping to give you all some ideas of what you can do with this collection. Otherwise, maybe pull out your Wide Open Places collection and kind of cobble together some papers to use for the sketch using that as well, because some of the color palette is similar. And I do love Wide Open Places. I've used it in several of the virtual crops as well. But I wanted to get the sketch with me done for this collection because I know several of you were able to get your hands on it before it did sell out. So we are going to do a 2-page layout and we'll do our card. And I hope this inspires you to give it a try. Even if you don't have On the Farm, try it with a different collection. Let's get going then. All right, so here it is. Our sketch from December 2021. It was sketch number 5 on that month's virtual crop. I will hold it up here in case you want to get a screenshot real quick of my measurements. There we go. And this one I just thought really lent itself to this collection. So we're gonna give it a try. I have picked out some mats because you know how much I love the mats. We have some green plaid that have the little orange flowers on the back. We have our Down on the Farm. And then I'm not sure which journal box we're going to go with. So we'll see what works out. I may need to cut this off, but we'll find out as we get the page put together a little bit more. I also picked one of our layered border embellishments. So I've got the one with the farmhouse and the sunshine, and then the other half of it is the hay bales. So we're going to use this one going across our page. And then we also have this yellow piece that has the little dainty sunflowers on the back, the white sunflowers. We are going to use the yellow side. I have pre-cut it. I'll tell you as I'm putting it down what sizes those are. I also used 2 sheets of the green that have the little vegetables on the back, which I already have an idea for the vegetables. We're going to probably use that on our card. And finally, we have the quilt-inspired one that has the chickens on the back. You could probably use either side of this page, but we're going to use the quilt side. And finally, for my base, I've picked out the wood tone just to give us a nice neutral background here. So the wood tone has the animal print on the back. So we're going to start with the left side of the page, and I actually am working on my 13 by 13 cutting mat this time because with our green pieces, I have a 5.5 inch by 11 inch piece, and then I also have a 2.5 inch by 11 inch piece, and I kind of did this on purpose to conserve the paper a little bit, but in my notes I put to tape the 5.5 inch an inch from the top of the page because we do want to see some of our wood tone coming around the side. And I thought, well, maybe we could miter some of the corners or something and do some fancy stuff. And I thought, you know what, we're just going to use this a base paper, keep it whole. So then that way it will hold on to our papers nicely. the 5.5-inch piece goes towards the top, the 2.5 towards the bottom, and then we're going to run this 4-inch piece of our quilt inspired one right through the middle here at the 6 and 10. So I did kind of actually do a little bit of math on this one, which, you know, is not my complete forte. I definitely am more in the creative end of things. Just kind of, hey, let's see how this turns out. But for this one, I did do a little bit of math just so that way I really didn't want the page getting too heavy for our books. So we're working on the left side of the page. I'm going to go ahead and line this up on the bottom corner here, running up the side. And then this one is going to come down an inch on the right side of the left page. Just trying to keep it all straight here. So there we go. And then we'll go ahead and run this through. And yeah, the chickens would probably look cute too, but I like the quilt side. Go figure, since I've done all those quilt inspired layouts here and there. I just had to use the quilt inspired paper as well. So here we go. 2 to 6. 10 to 6. All right, there we go. Running that through the middle there. And then we have our yellow pieces. Okay, I did cut a 4-inch by 5-inch box for up here. And we have one 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square down here in the bottom. And then I'm also going to add my 4.5 by 6.5 inch mat. So the mat is here. My yellow floral 4 by 5 is here, and my yellow floral 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 is here. And you can see where they kind of had even an extra layer of paper through here. And I just thought, oh, that's where we're going to look at maybe running our border, but I may actually switch this up and put the hay bales on this side. And I'm not sure how this is going to work because my larger mat is going to go here, and it does run through the whole thing. So, we know we don't want to cover up our farmhouse for sure, but the hay bales are making it a little bit bumpy. So maybe we're going to move this down and move this up a little instead of following. Well, let's see here. So this should go actually up here. So completely kind of centered on here. This is above it, just almost linear with our other one if we're following the sketch. And then this is supposed to go through here. And then that's supposed to go here. But you know what? I'm wondering if we run this through the bottom, maybe instead of, well, how many times have I said sketches are guides? I guess I need to say it one more time. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I actually even might go ahead and do the farmhouse on the left because I think it would look funny with the hay bales over here in the farmhouse. I think it makes more sense to have the hay bales running off to the right rather than to the left. I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's wait until a little bit later to figure out that one. But we're going to go ahead and place these down, and we're just not going to put our border here because I don't want things getting bumpy, and I want it to be able to show that our border is a layered border. So let's do that. And I think we have enough going on with our quilt inspired piece here as well. And this is just on top of here. Whoops. My tape is starting to stick before I'm ready to place it. Here we go. So that pretty much fits exactly there. Although in the sketch again, so you might think about doing 6 inches instead of 5.5 up here. It looks like there's a little bit more, or maybe they cut this smaller. But since we had 4 smaller pictures running across the bottom, I really wanted to have space for a couple of larger ones as well. Yes, the side definitely needs to go down over here. And here we go. This one's going to run through here. Okay, and I'm going to wait to put my border on, and I will place it across the bottom. But let's go ahead and get the right side of our page put together as well. I like it. It's still very pretty. And we have space for our, our couple of larger pictures here. It just, like I said, sometimes I plan out one thing, and then when I get into the reality of actually looking at it, it doesn't really fit what I want it to be. So changing it up a little bit. All right, let's get our next 5.5 by 11 and 2.5 by 11 placed on the page here. At the 1-inch mark. And this one is along the bottom of the page. Oops. All right. Now we're going to run this one through again at the even marks here for our 2 and 6 again, matching up with the 6 and 10 on this other side. Scoot this over just a little bit. Whoops. Of course. All right, there we go. And now we have our other 3 3¾ by 3¾ mats for photos here, which does kind of cover up our quilted piece here, but we can see it on the other side. That's okay. Yep, I like the farmhouse, I think, on the other side. I think this just kind of reinforces some of the yellow that we already have. And then we have a 4 by 6 mat over here, so we might go ahead and use our down on the farm. And that is not really working for me. Let's do this one. We could cut this off, but the checks are kind of throwing it off for me a little bit, whereas it worked with the green on the other side. This one's not working on this side for me, so we'll use that, maybe at one of the virtual crops or something else later. Let's bring this over just a little bit so we get it framed with just a little bit of the green on the side. This one actually is down here against the quilted part. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get it all stuck down. I'm putting about a 1/2 inch in between here, and then I think this strip is about 1/4 of an inch. So you can kind of, here's our line here, and here's our line here. And I'm actually going to bring it in just a hair. So maybe it's at one of those like 3/8 type positionings here. There we go with that one. Now let's get our 3 other mats down. Okay, we need to start, I think, on this left side, and then we'll see how they line up going across here. I'm going to give it just a little bit of I think that's about 1/8 of an inch around it. So we'll keep these close here going across our strip. It's just going to frame it out a little bit. don't know, the Quilt Inspire page just reminded me so much of the barns that you see that have the quilts painted on them. Just so pretty. Okay. So let's grab our hay bales and get that down. We don't want to put foam squares on this because we already have the definition on here from it already being popped up. The hay bales already have, you can kind of see where they're lifted a bit. And then we'll just leave maybe 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Here we go. Hey, I'm actually going to use my mat and line it up at 1/4 of an inch. Look at that. Sometimes I can be taught new tricks. All right, so there is the right side of our page, and we'll see if we add any stickers here coming up. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet with this. I did pull the stickers out though. All right, and then this one's going to go again at the 1/4 of an inch. So let me line this up again. So that way I make sure I get my page going across here nicely. A little bit in the part that's going up here. I don't want to do anything with that little windmill because it's already popped up. So 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here. There we go. I'll hold that one up in just a moment for you. Just want to try to get both pages on here. That does look nice going across the page. And it looks like it's lined up pretty well. So here is our left side of our page. Not bad. Let me take out my mat here so we can look and see if we want to add any stickers real quick here. I don't know. I actually think with the wood frame and with our actual border, I don't think we need anything else. So you easily can put a picture on this one as well, or you can put your picture here and journal on the green. So I don't really want to put too many stickers right now because I think we have enough going on this page. On the sketch, they do have some stickers or embellishments in this corner and up in this corner. But I think since my journal box kind of went up a little bit, that sort of breaks that plane already a little bit. And maybe you could put a little something here to draw the eye up, but I don't know. Maybe there's a hay bale or something. Although, would you really want a hay bale up in the top part of your page? Maybe not. You could put a sunflower up there to draw the eye, maybe. That would be a nice complementary color. But otherwise, you know, you can see if you do want it putting a picture here, maybe your home on the range would be really nice up here to draw the eye as well. So I'm just going to give you a couple of suggestions, but I'm not actually going to place one because, again, like I said, I want to see what my pictures are going to be, what they're going to do, and I think this is pretty good. Well, worked out nicely for me. And I feel like I followed the sketch pretty well as well. I mean, granted, we did move our border, but other than that, we're in pretty close-ish to the and like I said, with this, you could easily take and miter in some cardstock behind and just use a full sheet coming down here. But, you know, just however you want to do it is how you do it. It's a sketch. It's open to interpretation. So let's go ahead and move on to our card. And for that, I'm going to pull out a couple of my scraps. And I have something I want to try. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but we shall see. I'm going to grab my scraps here. I had this square here. And then on the back side of the green is our vegetable garden-ish area. And I want to do something that's going to be almost like a curtain, because this reminds me so much of the curtains on The Simpsons. I don't know why, it just makes me giggle every time I look at this. So I want to do almost like we're going to do a folded curtain on this. So let's pull out our trimmers. Let me grab I'm going to do the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, using one of our blank cards as the base for our layout. And then we're going to cut this coming up through here. So let me see how many inches this is. So that's 3 1/4. So we can cut it at 3 inches through the center. So half of 5 1/2 is, so half of 5 is 2 1/2. So it'd be 2 3/4. Okay. Here I am doing math again. So 2 3/4, and then we need, all right, so I'm going to put this at the top because if you'll remember, our trimmer has a ruler that runs along the side of our housing here, right? I don't know if I can get that to actually focus on the camera. There we go. There's the ruler. You can see it. So we're going to bring this up. What did I say? 3 inches. So I'm at what I 4 1/4. So we need to go to 1 1/4 is where we're going to stop, and then you're going to follow with your blade's going to hit where your white line is, and so you're going to start at 2 1/4 with your blade following the side here. So here's 2 1/4 is this longer line here. So I'm going to stick my finger there. I'm going to press down and cut down. So there we go. There's our inset for our curtain. We're going to fold this, I think. If we can, I actually may need to cut across a little bit as well from here. So we were at 1 1/4. So I'm going to put my paper at 1 1/4. All right. So from our cut line here, this is where we want and we just want to go maybe, do we want to go 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch? We'll go a 1/2 inch. So I'm at 4 1/4 down here. So I'm going to take this down to 3 3/4. So I'm going to put my finger here. Usually I use the binder clips when I do this, but not today. And now this one is also 4 1/4. So I'm going to leave my finger at 4 1/4, and I'm going to go up to 4 3/4 here. So the 1/2 inch up. So that way I can do my 1/2 inch on the other side as well. Okay. So we now have a paper that has the cut in the middle, and then also just a little bit coming off of each side. You can see, so that way it'll fold in nicely for us. And move my ruler aside. Let me bring in the camera view a little closer for you all. Hang on one moment here. All right, so now you have a close-up of the card base. We are going to center this along this bottom edge. I'm going to use my ruler because we know we have it at, 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 should be 2 3/4 on both sides of our 0 centering ruler. So there we go, that's lined up. And let me bring it down just a little bit. Okay, put a little bit of tape on this. We're going to center this piece. It was a scrap from cutting that mat that ran along the top of our page. So let's see, 2 inches. Oh, here we go, 2 inches even. Whoops, through the middle here. Oh, I just lost my 2 3/4 on both sides, and then we got 2 inches here. Oh, I love this ruler. Okay, now it was from cutting this piece is where I had this scrap from. The 4" by 5". So now what I want to do is I want to actually get this, and then I want it to be able to, open up like a little curtain almost. So let's stick along the top and along the very edges here and go ahead and get it stuck down. And then this is more of me. Instead of doing all the math, let's just try it and see how it works out. This is, I think, exactly what I was talking about a little bit earlier. I'm not going to put the tape all the way down to the bottom corner, but I do want it to match up. Let me make sure. Okay, thank goodness. I forgot to double check my card before I started sticking things down onto it, didn't I? So this is going to go here, kind of going down along the outside. And then this is going to fold back, kind of like a curtain would. So we're going to angle this way. And we're going to angle this corner up here. And that's kind of going to be our little, there we go, kind of like a little curtain, kind of like showing off something that's on a stage. So let's put another little piece of tape runner here. We're going to go ahead and get this stuck down, folding back. And yes, you could use your scoring blade, but I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to line up. So I just want to make sure that I get it so my point is just inside the card, because we want this to fit in our envelope. And there we have that part of it. And then I actually saw this really cute sticker that says, "Hey, y'all," on it. And I just think that's really cute for up here. So I'm going to grab a foam square. And this would just be a fun card to send anybody you want to say hi to. But if you have somebody that's a Simpsons fan as well, they might appreciate this as well. And how's about I don't know. Do you want to put a little bit of hay in here? Let's go ahead and put a little bit of this, or not the hayride. If you want to invite somebody to hayride, you can put the hay all up here and then put a hayride on here. And then say, let's get the kids together and go on a hayride. But instead, we're going to do this. I'm going to put a couple. Which way do we want this to go? Maybe we'll put it going each way. And then I think I'm actually going to grab the corn cob as well, because that's something else that I don't know why. It was the carrots and the corn cobs on The Simpsons. This one's going to go up this way. There we go. Oh my goodness gracious. That's just it's just funny. I don't know. I think it's cute. Y'all can let me know what you think. Maybe some of you aren't Simpsons fans, and that's okay too. I haven't watched it in I don't know how many years, but I just remember the veggie curtains that they had that were always just so unusual and funny. So here's something you can send to a friend. Like I said, if they like The Simpsons, send it to them. If not, just send it to somebody you want to say hi to, or if you know somebody that has a veggie garden and you want to invite them out or whatever, send that to them. They probably would appreciate it and think it's a cute card too. But there we have it. That is it for this sketch with me. Thank you so much for joining me. Drop a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of my funny little card here and how I did following the sketch. There we go. Until next time.